Hi guys, this is Swanky Markets here with the Forex outlook for Thursday the 29th of April 2010. Again, another day where the euro plummeted like a bullet. I said last night that the markets are very volatile and that after yesterday's huge moves that they may take a breather or rest today, which, you know, and I said any moves would happen in London. They did, and then New York was very, very quiet until Spain got downgraded to a double A, and then the euros plummeted again. Also, the IMF came out and said that Greece require 120 billion, not 60 billion as Greece claim. And then the Germans, they have an election coming up in a couple of weeks, and the German people don't want to be seen as a cash point for the euro to bail out Greece, and they want the Greece to leave the euro money, not the European community, the euro money, which is a different thing. So, see, the thing is, it's very tricky, the euro, very tricky. But anyway, where are we going to go with the euro? See, the thing with the euro is there's a constant feed of bad news here. You know, and the thing is you're looking like, right, I'm just coming up to where I want to get in, and then news comes out, and then bang, it's gone. I mean, if you're not short in this pair since yesterday and haven't held it, you know, you got out too early, as I think I was saying last night. Showed you a place to get in today. But where to get in today? I mean, there was an area you could have got in today, the central pivot point. It came up, came back down as train tracks. If we look at the smaller time frame, and the 15 minutes, you can see here that it came up, came down, so you knew that that was being rejected. It came up, closed above, then straight away was back down as rejected. You could have got in here at the pivot, and you could have made over 100 pips here. Even if you had waited as this trend line was drawn to break that, that was still 94 pips. So there was an area today if you'd looked at the smaller time frame. So where would we get in tomorrow if you're not in this already? That is the thing, really. I think 3300 would be a good level to get in. As you can see, it came back up and it pinged right on 3264 today, which was previous support here, broke back up, pinged right off it. 3300, also previous support. It's a good psych number, it's a logical number. If it breaks that, definitely 3400, shorten that there. That is where I would look tomorrow, but again, look at the smaller time frames. But this has broken the MACD resistance, the divergence here. Stocks are going down on the daily, so that is what I would say for the euro tomorrow. British pound, again, this is going off like the clappers. More bad news for this pair today. It has found support at 51.43 today, which, if we look on the smaller time frames, was previous support. This support here is here from all the way at the start of April. That's why you leave the lines in. You leave them in because they will come back into play again. So we knew that was previous support, and you should have been in this since yesterday. You saw you had resistance here. It came back up to test it later on, and bang, down she went again. Came below the mid pivot, retested it, went down, pinged off it, mid pivot, rejected it, down, pinged off it. So those are logical areas to look at smaller time frames. Where I would watch tomorrow is 52.86 or 52.40. These areas here, I would watch those areas. Look on the smaller time frames again for previous resistance and support. I mean, there's no point in fibbing this candle here because it's nearly back at 50% of the daily candle now as it is. So this is a really tricky one. You're going to just have to watch the smaller time frames tomorrow, the pivots and the logical areas. The euro Japanese yen, where are we now? The euro Japanese yen, back in the middle of lots of EMAs. I mean, if we look on the daily, here we are right back in the middle of it. Looks like it's going to close back inside this trend line here of the lower flag pattern. I mean, this really is playing us here. It really is a mess. It's yo-yoing around. A large pennant on the 1 hour, but this isn't a pennant where you take your thing or what your target out of the apex. You might do it here or whatever, but once this breaks this pennant, if you're not in this, get in it. I do anticipate it to break down, but the only thing that I'm doubting there is a little bit is on the daily. We're back inside this trend line here, but then there could be some people, traders, who might have drawn this just a little bit tighter, and then you're right back on it. But personally, I think it's back inside a little bit, so we'll just have to see where it closes and play that. But remember to draw these on your chart. Where are we on the weekly? Still haven't touched the bottom of that, and the bottom of this is 300 pips away. We should at least hit here, which is 267 pips away. We should at least hit 121.29 if we break out of the bottom of this. So watch that one. Okay, the Swissy came back up, pinged through the top of it, new high, back down below. It's exactly the same as the euro, this pair. It's broken up above and is new high, but it's come right back below. Where would you get into long to this? Where would you get in long? 107,000 again. I would look at that. If we look at the 4-hour chart, we've got this trend line here. A ping off this trend line, if it breaks that 107,000, put your order in. It may only spike down to get you in, and it may struggle, it may just tick away down to get in. This is the 4-hour chart we're looking at, but have an order in to spike up if it breaks this trend line, or else watch on the smaller time frames for clues on that trend line. So where are we now? The euro pound got 50 pips out of this today. Said if it got back up to 87 to take a short earlier in the week, it got back up today to 87.07 and big rejected. I got out of 50 pips. If we look on the smaller time frame, you can see it. 87 was here, just below the mid pivot here, so good logical area, and it went down for, I think I got 47 pips out of it. It went down just, this is showing here 48, but as you know, I trade off Ninja Trader off a different broker, and it went down 52 on that broker. So my central pivot was, my target was the central pivot. If it gets back up to 87, another good logical area to short. Resistance here on the 1 hour. On the daily, you can see this is a big resistance area. So on the weekly, we're back up inside this. We need to wait for the end of the week, see if it closes below it, but this is really hard to break. It hasn't broken for 2 years. Came down, back up. So I am looking for a close below this trend line here. But if it gets back up to 87, good area to short. Where are we now? The Aussie dollar. Right, the Aussie dollar, US dollar. I'm definitely interested in this. Just tomorrow it's at 92.36. Now I'm interested if it gets back to 92. I'm going to place an order for this as soon as I finish this video at 92. It's 50% of a FIV level versus previous support. My target is this top resistance at 93.28. And if we look onto the weekly, we can see that this is going into a rising wedge, and usually the flat side breaks. Usually trade what you see. So if it breaks out of this, bang, 97.90. That's what I'd be looking for. But 9200 in long, 93. This is 71, but 93.70, 93.68 would be my first target on that. US dollar CAD got a nice 100 pip move off of this today. I said to you that if this got back up to 9200 earlier in the week to short it, got back up to 195, which was good enough for me. Remember, if you're off the daily, anything within 20 pips is good enough. As we can see, this is loads and loads of resistance here, here and here. So previous support turned resistance. So 9200, bang, definitely interested in shorting that, and it looks like it's going to close back inside our pennant. So a nice spike up to 9200 is where I would be looking, and it is respecting the trend line still on this pair. If we look at the, you can see all the resistance there. And the 9200 up there, you can see we have this resistance of a wicks there on the smaller time frames. This is the 15-minute, which showed it was going to be rejected. Now I have a lovely nice area to get in, over 100 pip move there today. So 10200, 10, anywhere between 0170 and 0200 tomorrow. If it gets there, bang, get in your short. US dollar, Japanese yen. This was a tricky one today. Really was. I mean, you have to go down to the smaller time frames. As you can see, we had all this resistance here. This went on for 12 hours before it took off. If we go down to the smaller time frames quickly, I can show you. As we can see, we have all this resistance here. It took 12 hours. This is the S3 last night, and it was also 9300, which I said to you earlier in the week, to long there, and then bang, it went off. If you didn't take this long today and get some nice pips out of this, then I would wait for 9300 again. It's found resistance here at 93.